Okay, we're going to pick up where we left off, and that is with conversion factors. So you will be doing a lot of conversion in class, in the physics portion. So it's important to understand how that's done. So basically, you're going to have to convert between metric and English, or between different units in the metric system, different units in the English system. And we're going to use what we call conversion factors. Now, what I like to say is conversion factors can flip or flop depending on how you need them to be written so your units will cancel. So the first example we're going to look at deals with these two conversion factors. 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. So as you can see in this example, you're asked how many centimeters are there in 65 inches. You always want to write what you need to convert first. So in this case, it's 65 inches. That's going to be the first thing you write. 65 inches can never change its orientation, meaning it cannot ever go on the bottom. It has to stay on the top. Now your conversion factors, though, could, depending on what you have to convert. So here, first off, we have 1 inch equals, or 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. And that is written like this, 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters. Or we have 2.54 centimeters over 1 inch. So by having 65 written first, the conversion factor that we need to have, because we're asked for final units of centimeters, would be this conversion factor right here, where you place 2.54 centimeters on the top, 1 inch on the bottom. Notice how the inches are canceled with the blue line, and then you just do the multiplication and your answer comes out to be 165 centimeters. So basically the steps you want to follow when you're converting, regardless if you're just doing a conversion problem or you're converting within a larger problem, is you always want to write first what you need to convert. Then you want to look up the conversion factors, and that's when you can use your conversion sheet to do that. And then you want to arrange your conversion factors so that the units will cancel, and then follow that by doing the appropriate multiplication or division to get the correct answer. So this next example, we're asked how fast in miles per hour is 50 kilometers per hour. So we look at our conversion factor and we find in 1 kilometer per hour there's 0.621 miles per hour. So in this case, what we're going to do is what we're having to convert is 50 kilometers per hour. Then we're going to multiply it by our conversion factor. Notice kilometers per hour is on the bottom of our factor, because then we're going to need to cancel those, and then we can do the math and get our result of 31.05 miles per hour. So you can see in this next sequence basically goes through what I've just walked you through. So your starting value, your conversion factor, and then your result. So you can see our kilometers per hour, top and bottom will cancel. Our units are going to be miles per hour, and then you do the math and you get your final answer. So now sometimes what you're going to find is there's more than one conversion factor that you can use. So basically in this example, you look up and you find that 1 kilometer per hour equals 0.621 miles per hour, but you also notice 1 mile per hour equals 1.61 kilometers per hour. So if you're trying to solve that same question that we just had, 50 miles per hour equals how many kilometers per hour, you can use either conversion factor. You're still going to get the correct answer as long as the problem is set up properly. So in this top one, we have 50 miles per hour, and you can see that our miles per hour in our conversion factor is on the bottom, so it will cancel. Kilometers per hour is on the top, and that's going to give you this answer. On the bottom example, we're using a different conversion factor, but notice my miles per hour is still going to cancel, and we get the same answer. So you can see in this slide where it's walk you through each one, and you can see how the units are both the same. The magnitude is going to also be the same. Now in this next one, you're asked to do 22 inches equals how many meters. So you're going to look up your conversion factor. First off, you want to put your 22 inches, write that down, because remember that cannot flip or flop, your conversion factor. And in this one, you have to do a two-step process. You have to take your inches to centimeters and then centimeters to meters. So our first conversion factor is going to be 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Our second conversion factor is going to be 1 meter equals 100 centimeters to give us our answer in meters. And you can see here, notice your inches are going to cancel, your centimeters are going to cancel. The only units you have remaining are your meters, and those are going to be the units in your final answer. What about this one? 10 yards in how many meters? In 10 yards, how many meters? So look up our conversion factor, and we see in 1 yard equals 0.914 meters. So we write down what we want to convert, our starting value, which is 10 yards. We orient our conversion factor properly, so our yards will cancel. And then we plug it into our calculator, double checking your units all the time. Notice your yards are going to cancel. Your final units are meters, and that's what you were asked for. So your answer is 9.14 meters. Okay, let's take a minute and let's do a few practice problems where you're going to convert some units. So let me change my slide for 1 second and get to our practice problem. So let's start with this one. We have 2.3 kilograms and you're asked to put it to grams. So the quantity that you're going to convert is 2.3. So you're going to write that first. And then you look at your conversion table and you see you have 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. So we double check. Our kilograms canceled. The only units we're left with is grams, and that's what we want. So then our answer becomes 2,300 grams. Now in the next one, you're asked to convert 25 centimeters to meters. So 25 centimeters is the quantity you're going to convert. You look up on your conversion table, and you see in 1 meter, you have 100 centimeters. Always check your units, so the only unit you're left with is meters, and you wind up with 0.25 meters. Okay, our next one we can work on is if a book weighs 500 5,000 grams, excuse me. So 5,000 grams is what we're trying to convert. How many kilograms does it weigh? So we look up our factor and we have in 1 kilogram, we have 1,000 grams. So our grams cancel. The only unit we have left is kilograms, and our answer comes out to be 5 kilograms. Now in the next one, you have 84 inches, and you're asked to find how many yards that is and how many feet. So we write down 84 inches. We look up and find our conversion factor, or this factor you probably know. In 1 foot, we have 12 inches. So inches cancel, and you're left with 7 feet. And then to find the number of yards, you would take your 84 inches, and here you're going to do it in 2 steps. So you have in 1 foot, you have 12 inches, and then you have in 1 yard, you have 3 feet. So here your inches are canceling, your feet are canceling, the unit you're left with is yards. So you come up with, when you plug all that in your calculator, 2.3 yards. Okay, so a comment on your calculator. You can use the calculator for your exams. You definitely want to use it for your web assigned homework. And the more you practice with the calculator, the more comfortable you will be with your calculator for the exam. So you want to redo these problems I'm demonstrating to you to make sure that you can duplicate the answers, that you're doing the right sequence of button pushing. And remember, if you ever have a question on anything that's presented, please feel free to send me an email. Okay, we're going to stop on part 2, and then we will pick up with part 3 with a few more conversion practice problems.